which is just maybe somebody doesn't have a child and they want to go adopt, or maybe familial, maybe you're a better place to take care of your nephew or something like that, and then the foreign one that you mentioned. So who cannot adopt?
Wow. So there are other qualifications other than the age, the age part. You must be a person of sound mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even if normally when you're adopting a child, the child that you can adopt is the ones that have been left abandoned by their parents. Maybe if they are abandoned as parents, in the sense that if they're supposed to grow up in a family, the age difference, like it must be a parental relationship because you're bringing them to grow up in a family.
And welcome to the Sisters-in-Law podcast. My name is Beverly Mokaya and I'm here with
Aquila Mokaya. In this podcast, we discuss matters law.
From talking about matters employment law, contracts law, tax law, commercial law, and just generally matters law, we've got you covered.
Remember to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment down below.
So on today's episode, we are going to talk about adoption. Adoption, as you might know, of course, everybody might know this, that adoption is just the
process of just taking a baby legally and having them to be your own, and not having to favor them in the sense that if I am a biological parent to this baby, these are the rights, the obligations I have towards this child. So when I adopt a baby, the baby becomes my biological child through legal adoption.
Yeah, so meaning the parental responsibility that you would have on your normal, like your biological child, are the same parental responsibilities that you would have for this child that you have adopted, and the rights, including even we'll discuss about inheritance rights, things like inheritance rights, or when parents separate the parental responsibility that they would have, will still be the same as though if the child was biological. So now, what is the age of adoption for a child?
Wow, so for the child must be 6 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah, like 6 weeks,
and above.
Yeah. So even if normally when you're adopting a child, the child that you can adopt is the ones that have been left abandoned by their parents. Maybe if they are abandoned as maybe they were 3 years or 4 years. Yeah. But there are others that are abandoned at the hospital. Yeah. So like the mother gives birth and then runs away.
Or even sometimes they can give them up for adoption.
Yes. Yeah. So now when the mother gives birth to the child and runs away, they are given away to an institution like maybe a children's home up until they get to 6 weeks. Yeah. The baby cannot be below 6 weeks.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So now we've established the age for a child to be considered, to be legally considered as adoptable, right? So now, for the parents now, the person who wants to adopt, what are some of the qualifications that they should have?
Wow. If it's age-wise, their qualifications that they should be between 25 years and 65 years. Yeah, you cannot be below 25 unless you argue your case. Like it's on a case-by-case basis, but if you look at the Children's Act, it provides that the child, the adoptee. Adopter. Yeah. the adopter must be between 25 to 65 years of age, because the whole principle behind adoption is that a child gets to live in a setup, gets to live and grow up in a family setup.
An ideal family setup.
Yes. So the person who's coming, the people, because we also analyze the types of people who can adopt, as they come, they must be between 25 to 65, unless it's like a kinsman adoption where I am, for example, adopting my niece. Yeah. And maybe the mother died or something like that. I'm adopting my niece. If it's familial, he could argue a case on that basis. But normally, the cardinal rule is that you must be between 25 to 65, and not also above 65.
Because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you can't adopt an 8 weeks old baby and you're 18 years.
Because you won't even be able to take care of them as they should, as they should be. And of course, there's that age gap. It has to be 21 years and above, right? So that you can't adopt somebody, for example, you're 25, you can't adopt an 18-year-old. Of course, 21 is not adoptable because they're not a child. Yeah. But you can't be 25 and then adopt a 17-year-old because let me not say the comment that came into my head, but you understand.
You can't like parent them
yeah.
in the sense that if they're supposed to grow up in a family, the age difference, like it must be a parental relationship because you're bringing them to grow up in a family. You know, it can't. You cannot come. I cannot adopt a baby. I am 25. I adopt a child who's like 17. We are basically siblings.
If not something worse, you know. Yeah, you understand. Of course, you can't do that.
Yeah, but now we will get to the nitty-gritties of qualifications of who can adopt and things like that. But the age gap must be 21 years.
Okay.
Yes.
So now, what types of adoption are there?
So now, according to the new Children's Act, we would have the kinsmen, which is family. An auntie can adopt,
A grandmother,
a grandmother can adopt, but your grandmother must be below 6'12" and below. So
unless maybe a case by case, for example, maybe she's the only surviving member of the family and things like that. Those courts will consider. Yeah.
So now we have the kinsmen, and we've said the one which is like familial, cousin, auntie, and things like that. And then we have local, just like local, just how local means. I am a Kenyan, I adopt a Kenyan child. Yeah, that is within. And then there's foreign. But now foreign has a caveat. There's a moratorium that was placed in 2014 that states that foreign nationals cannot get a child unless there are specific circumstances. Like there's a case in Machakos where the child was a special needs baby, and that the foreign national was better placed to care for them
based on their experience and their qualifications. Yeah.
But now you see that is very,
it's like 1 in a million.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like 0.0001%.
Yeah.
Would you be allowed to adopt
as a
child?
foreigner?
Yeah, of course, if you look at it just generally, you understand that like between the process there is 3 months where you sell the baby for 3 months. So would they take the baby outside them for 3 months?
Assess whether it's best fit to care for the child.
Do you think that foreign will come back to apply again for that procedure because it's compulsory for you to sell the baby for 3 months for adaptability? Anyway, also.
Oh, and the funny thing, before you even say that, is that Kenyans who live abroad are considered foreigners. Yeah, in this context. So
the only foreign adoption that is allowed is the one that it's a Kenyan but lives abroad and maybe wants to adopt their relative.
Yeah, like it has to be familial.
Yeah. For it to be like foreign, to be classified as foreign.
Okay.
Yes.
So you said the local, which is just maybe somebody who doesn't have a child and they want to go adopt, or maybe familial, maybe you're a better place to take care of your nephew or something like that, and then the foreign one that you mentioned. Yeah.
Yes.
So who cannot adopt?
Wow. So there are other qualifications other than the age. The age part. You must be a person of sound mind.
Yeah.
Like of course you must have the capacity to take care of a child. And then recently, single men cannot adopt.
Yeah.
Whether it's you're adopting the same gender or whatever, unless again special circumstances. Maybe you are married and you are going to adopt to your spouse, and then your wife died.
There's actually such a case.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like on such instances, but normally a man cannot be allowed to adopt a baby, a single man. Yes.
But a woman can.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can adopt a baby of any gender, even if they're single and they have. And of course, also you can't say that you can't say that you are boyfriend and girlfriend and then you want to adopt a baby. You have to prove that you're married.
You guys must be married. Yeah. We cannot just concord a permanent relationship. Because also there's the aspect of
permanence in the sense that you can't revoke an adoption. Once it's done, it's done.
So now if you guys break up.
Exactly. Yeah.
And now you see that because it's just a mere relationship, what rights do you have?
Exactly.
Like what obligations are you going, like how would we enforce the obligations if you are not married?
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. So I think those are generally the basics that somebody needs to know about adoption.
Yeah.
So now what is the process? Let's say for example if somebody wants to adopt a child, where do they begin? I know they're not supposed to go to the children's home because of reasons that she will tell us, but where do I start? Now,
there are accredited adoption societies. So first, why you don't go to a children's home, if police officers come across a child and they cannot find the parents, where do they take the children? Children's home. Maybe the mother feels sick or nobody else can take care of the child. So the child is abandoned, like partially abandoned. It's not like they are totally abandoned, And then also maybe the mother is in prison. Normally, when you're in prison, your child can be taken to the children's home. So when you go to a children's home, you can find that the child that you go and maybe become familiar with and bond with there's
As
a
a
matter
parent.
that is being investigated on them.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe when we declare that she got lost in Kiambu. You are in Busia, you have adopted this child.
Yeah.
You see, so at children's home, the children have not been declared legally adoptable.
Yes.
Yeah, because there must be like a certificate to say that this child
Can be adopted.
Yes. Yeah. So now at the children's home, there's a mix of everybody. So when you go to the adoption society, they know which children can be adopted. So you make an application to the adoption center through a letter. You say, oh, you want to adopt and adoption. Yeah.
And I think before we even continue, I think it's important for us to mention the thing we're talking about, whereby it's not a shopping. You know, it's not, you don't go shopping for a child.
Yeah.
You don't just go, on the shelf and pick this is the
and
one.
say, oh, I like this baby, this one is cute and
She's
she's giving and whatnot,
Yeah.
you know. So like when you make an application
Okay.
to the adoption center, they come and do a background check. Yeah. They see where do you live. Are these conditions suitable for a baby? Like if let's say I'm not shaming some jobs, but let's say you are a prostitute, for example. Would you think that would they allow you to take a baby? Like is that a good environment for a child to grow? So they come and analyze what is your environment, what you do for a living, your lifestyle, and then now they match. That is also one duty of that center of the society. They come and match your needs and the baby's needs.
Yeah.
Also, of course, you'd be interviewed on a few things. Maybe do you want a baby who is physically challenged or something like that. Like those are the nitty-gritties. But they'll go get a fit baby by themselves, and then they match the baby with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So after you mentioned the 3 months.
No, so now when they match the baby, now there is the introduction part.
Yeah.
Of course, now because you're the one who's coming to you or maybe you are together with your spouse. Also we did not mention that a couple that is married and maybe the husband has a baby or the wife came in with a baby, they can also come and adopt this other baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like if I'm getting married today and I have a child, my husband is in a position to adopt the baby.
Yeah.
Of course, legally adopt. So that now we change the birth certificate to say, oh, it is the father, and now change those. Even when you need to apply for maybe a visa or a passport and things like that, would need to have a consent and whatnot. So if when we have come, we are married, you are my husband, I'm the wife, then we for this purpose. Okay. So you get there and then they have already done the analysis. We are given the baby. We are like introduced to the child. Now this is called bonding. Where now the child.
So you've born with the child for 3 months now. Yeah.
You born with the child first, like an introduction, and then you take the baby home for 3 months.
A minimum of 3 months, and I think it has to be consecutive. And
Yes.
you come and live in your home.
For like 3 months for adaptability and whatnot. You see also if you like the baby also. Because also after 3 months you are allowed to make the decision whether you're going to adopt the baby or not. And then you see also one challenge that people don't notice. There are those who like take the baby and just go and stay with the baby for a year or 2 years. That like raises a red flag in the sense that when you're coming to make an application, because you come to realize that you make an application before the High Court. When you come to make an application, it's now like a red flag. Why did you overstay with the baby? What are your plans with this child? Yeah.
So you had not made up your mind.
Yes. Now you're just thinking with this child.
Yeah.
Complete relationship is crazy, but yeah. Yeah. So now when you come after the 3 months, you now make up your mind.
Okay.
Remember, during these 3 months, there are volunteers from this society.
The adoption societies who come to check.
Yeah. They come 1 month, or they ask you to come with the baby.
To report to them.
Yeah. Like how are you guys faring on and things like that. But of course, when you're adopting a baby, this is going to be a lifetime because this is a revocable process.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, if the baby is old enough, if the baby is of age, they will also be asked.
Yeah,
what they think.
you liked.
You like where you're staying.
If you want to just go back to the children, so it's not like we're not forcing anybody to take anybody's child. So you stay with them for 3 months. They come and do like an assessment. They do like a periodic assessment for the period of time that you stay with the baby while you're trying to check on adaptability, and then now you come back, make an application before the High Court for them to give you the child.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a hearing. But you realize that also the court, when it comes to children matters, it always wants to look at the best interest of the child.
Yeah.
So, of course, as they are analyzing, because there are chances where you are denied the adoption, and the baby goes back to the children's home.
Yeah.
Maybe you stay with a baby who's like 10 years and you're beating them or visiting them, or you take them to school or something like you don't take care of the baby. They will take away the baby. The baby stay at the children's home, Yeah, so you make an application before the High Court. So now, remember when you made an application before the society has a committee. they appoint an adlitter, a guardian adlitter, who's going to
more
be,
like a representative.
yeah, like a representative of the child, now who's becoming to give out the issues on the child. Do you think that, does this guardian think?
So like a report, maybe they would use reports. Yes.
Yeah. So they submit the reports before the committee, and then now the committee now does also like a small investigation, does a recommendation
to the court.
Yes.
Yes.
Remember, if it was a parent who was giving up their child for adoption, there must be consent.
Yes.
Yeah. If it was, if me I gave birth and I said I'm not willing, I do not have the capacity to live with a child, so I'll give them up for adoption. There is consent. Yeah. I must give my consent. But before those 3 months elapse, I can change my mind.
Yeah.
Because now when we start the process, there is no like akuna at now I've changed my mind as the mother.
Once the certificate is out, that's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now there must be consent if I'm the mother who's giving up my child for adoption, or if it's like the husband who came with a baby and he's the wife is the one who's adopting the baby, there must be a consent.
From the husband,
yeah. So it's taken to court, and then now there's a hearing process in chambers, of course.
Yeah, because of course with such cases they're very sensitive. Yeah, so they will not be open to the public.
Yeah. So we do a hearing in chambers, and then now after that the court gives you an order.
Yeah.
So this order states that the registrar should give you a certificate of adoption.
Okay.
Yeah. So now when you get a certificate of adoption, you apply for a birth certificate.
Oh.
When you get a birth certificate, you realize that they have changed the name, the original, even if the parent is alive. They will
now
change
the name, you know, the picture they write the
father,
name,
maiden name, and
yeah.
They change now to these new parents. Whether it's like a single mother, like a single woman who has gone to take the baby, or a family, or a couple, or whatnot. Or even if it's an auntie and a niece, it changes. So if I'm a niece, I am an auntie and I adopt my niece, the mother, who is my sister, seizes all rights to this child.
Exactly.
That's why you give consent earlier. So they will change the birth certificate. If it was Beverly Mokaya, now they will switch to Akula Mokaya. So now I become the parent, and it is not revocable, even if we are siblings. Yeah. So after you get the final birth certificate, the legal process is over.
Yeah. Yes. And the child becomes yours. You realize now, you see, if somebody has a birth certificate, you won't read adopted mom, you read mom,
yes.
You know, mother, or father. So now it's like, it's as though I gave birth to this
child. Yeah.
So now that's also very important because, of course, such documents in a setup where it's a spouse or somebody who came with a baby are important. For example, if somebody wants to go abroad, you have to produce certificates that reads that maybe this is my child. That's why they can go with me.
Yeah, abroad.
So now this also boils down into inheritance rights. In the event that you pass on, how does this affect the inheritance of your baby now? Let's call them your adopted baby, but it's just your biological baby now that you've already adopted them. Yeah,
if you refer to like our previous video that we did on this process of inheritance, we said that if I am a mother, I have taken my cousin's child, now my nephew, to live with them. I have not adopted them. When I pass away, we must prove that they were living with me 2 years before I died, and also they must prove that they were my dependents.
Yes.
Yeah. But now, if and when you legally adopt them, they do not have to prove dependency, and they don't have to prove that they were living with you 2 years prior to your death.
They become the number one in actually the list of inheritance. They're like your child.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, a priority list, they talk with your children.
Yes. Yes. Oh, okay. So.
And also, they can also, you see, there's objection. They can also object because now they're
your child.
Yeah. So even if the other, like if I had let's say 5 children and then I adopted 3, these 3 and these 5 are now 8.
Yeah.
So these 3, if they're not satisfied with what I've given them, they can go and challenge the willing.
Yes. Because I am your child, adopted or not, I am your child.
I am still a child because now the certificate reads my name.
Exactly.
Yeah. The only place that you can get a challenge is when you're going to apply for a passport at the immigrations. At the immigrations, you must carry all the documents. You must have the adoption certificate and that order that gave you the child. The adoption order that you got from court, you must submit them to the immigrations. Yes.
Now, I think it's also important to mention that if a spouse adopted a child and it successfully went through the entire process, if they separate, it would be as though the child was a biological baby. So you see those things of maintenance,
custody, visiting hours,
all those things will apply. Just refer to our video on child rights.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like after you have successfully adopted a baby, they become like
Your
your
own.
biological baby, and every other thing that would apply to your biological baby applies to this one.
And regardless of how this baby turns out, this is your baby.
Yeah.
You can never change your mind on adoption.
But yeah, exactly. It's not a revocable process.
Yeah, you can never change your mind. Once you're done, that's it.
And that's why it's important to use the adoption societies so that you don't adopt somebody and then later on the mother comes and from things like, this is my baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think with that
we are done.
So and with that we are done. So thank you for watching. I am sure you have enjoyed. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and just tell everybody about us. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.
Bye.